Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round number 7, I think it is. I honestly can't remember. Here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, we have 20 drivers in the lobby, and we are about to get underway for this qualifying session. Unfortunately, Lay is not here today, so it is just going to be me all on my own. But that isn't going to stop us having some fun out here. Let's get on with the race. So, first car's heading out onto track. We have, I saw a Red Bull heading out there. That was Josh. We also have Murphy reserving in the Aston Martin. Just headed up now to Kubi going onto track as well. So yeah, let's go over to the Aston Martin of Murphy making his Sdrl debut. The track looks a little bit overcast, but as it stands right now, it is dry. I'm gonna see if I can get an insight as to what the weather is gonna be for the race. But yeah, we are underway now. Thank you, Berkey. Yeah, so yeah, that's going to be an interesting race then. Dry to wet to dry. I assume qualifying is going to be completely dry then. Just overcast conditions. You always get some exciting weather here in Belgium. I mean, we saw it in 2021, a complete washout. Wasn't really a race that day, but quite often you do get some exciting weather here. Let's go to Josh now, just coming into the bus stop chicane to start his first flying lap of this session. Coming through onto the main straight, heading down to La Source now. Let's go on board with him for his first lap here. Little bit wide there on the exit, maybe lost a little bit of time on that curb. That sausage curb is very tricky, especially at the start of the race. If you end up on that, you could get sent spinning out. Up through Eau Rouge and Radion now we go onto the Camel Straight. DRS will open in a second. And now the very long run down towards turn 5, very high speed chicane. Flick it in, right then left. And then you've got turn 7, Malmedy, another right-hander, which you take away high speed. Oh, and Josh has lost the car. He's into the barriers and he's out of qualifying already. First car on a lap and he is already out of qualifying. Unfortunate start to the race for him. Let's go over to Murphy now, coming down towards turn 8, Bruxelles. Very tricky downhill braking zone. Easy to lock up the front and the rear tyres here as you go down the hill. Managing to navigate the first sector safely though. Now through No Name Corner on towards Pillon we go, and flicking it in. Playing it a bit safer with those track limits there. Now towards the Fagnes chicane. Late braking there at the 50-metre board. Flicking it in. Lots of chicanes up this track. Only a few corners left to go as we now prepare for some of my favourite corners of this track. Blanchimont. There's 2 of them on this straight. Let's see. Now coming down this straight. Flat out left-hand kinks. Very tricky. Especially when you're going wheel-to-wheel with someone, but also in the wet they start to become a lot more tricky. You got to be careful of those curves, they are quite high. Now into the bus stop chicane, braking at that 100-metre board, flicking it right then left, onto the main straight, get on the power as early as you can, try not to lose the rear, DRS open, up to the line. It's a 1 minute 42.6 for Murphy. First person to set a lap goes fastest. Next across the line is going to be Cyber, down in 14th, who sets a 1:42.5, goes a 10th faster than Murphy there. Just pushing him up in front. Next car across the line is going to be the Haas of Dantax on the intermediate compound tyres. Goes third fastest with 1:48, and then we have Takubi going fastest with a 1:41.5. That's probably going to be quite safe for him to make it through to the next session. Next car we're going to have crossing the line to finish the lap is going to be Unxg, although he has invalidated. Probably going to see him coming into the pits here. It's a very narrow pit lane, actually. Quite easy to maybe pick up a little bit of wing damage there. But let's go over to... it's Remote coming into the pit lane there, so another driver who we're not going to see finishing a lap. But who do we have on a lap here? We have AD coming through to the end of the middle sector. Now down towards Blanchimont. Let's see, how is this lap faring for the Ferrari driver? Actually, I think he might be on an in-lap here. Yes, he is. Dantax has retired. He's crashed at the same place on the exit of Malmedy. Who can we go on board with? Is it Shanban? Exactly the same thing, I think. Just lost the car out of turn 7 into the barriers. He's out of Q1 as well. 2 drivers already eliminated from Q1 here. Not a great start to the weekend for them. ICU obviously had that invalidated lap, so he hasn't set a time here. So who do we have? We have... I don't think we really have many people on laps right now. Barbans, that's Echo. But Echo's invalidated as well. Lots of people struggling with the track limits here. It is proving quite costly for a lot of drivers. Only 3 times on the board so far. And we are almost 7 minutes into this session. Track limits catching a couple drivers out, a couple spinners, and a couple of aborted laps to go with it. Echo was on the intermediate tyres, so this lap wasn't going to be all that representative anyway. But it's nice to have that delta time. He is going to go again. Yep. So let's see, we've got Berkey on the intermediate tyres coming towards Blanchimont. Got a Mercedes in front of him as well. That will be to Kubi, I believe, on an in-lap here. Coming towards the bus stop now. Let's see, is Berkey going to be able to hook up a nice lap on the intermediate tyres? It will give him a delta to base his next runs on of. He sets a 1:47.1. That was about a second faster than what Dantax did before he crashed out. So not too bad of a lap. We have Shamban coming down the Kemmel Straight now on a set of soft compound tyres, picking up a slipstream from the Ferrari of AD there. I believe that was one of the Ferraris. ICU goes fastest on with a 1:41.3. 2/10 clear of Takubi. That lap should get him safely through into the next session. Barban sets a 1:41.8, goes third fastest. And then Rayburn goes 5th fast with a 1:42.6. Shamban now coming towards Puon, very close to the track limits through No Name. Is he going to be able to keep it through this corner? It's a very tricky corner to keep it on the exit there. As you get back on the power, it's very hard to judge where your car's going to be as you get to that right-hand side. Yellow flags in front for an Alpine that spun there. Not going to affect us though. Now down the back straight towards Blanchimont we go. This lap is looking decent so far for Shamban. Let's see though, can he keep it together through the final few corners here? Coming towards the bus stop chicane, let's see what can he do. Can he put himself into that top 5? I think the top 5 will quite solidly get you into Q2 here, a 1:42. It's a 1:42.2 for him. Takubi retires from the session. He's happy with his lap time. Shamban goes to 4th, just a couple tenths ahead of his teammate. Let's see, who else do we have on a lap here? We have got Sert, I believe, coming to the end of his lap. On towards Blanchimont. AD's also just started his lap. We have Unxg coming towards Puon as well. So a couple cars on laps right now. But let's see, where is Sert going to put his McLaren? Recently transferred teams away from Alpine. And let's see. Sert goes 4th fastest. It's a 1:41.9 for him. Decent lap time for him. Hopefully that will make it through to Q2 for him. Let's go over to Unxg coming towards Blanchimont now. Is he going to be able to set a good lap time to get himself into Q2 here? I think he should be able to comfortably make it, but we will have to wait and see. Into the bus stop chicane. Where is he going to put his Alfa Romeo car? As he comes to the line now, it's a 1 minute 41.6, goes third fastest, just a tenth behind Takubi there. Very decent lap for him. Barbans has retired from the session. He also does not feel the need to go out again. Bit of something happening at Les Combes. Not sure what was going on there, just traffic trying to sort itself out. AD coming now to start the final sector of his flying lap here. Let's see where he can put his Ferrari now. As he comes towards the bus stop chicane. Through Blanchimont. Let's see. Can he get into those 142s here? Maybe a 143. We'll see what it's going to be for the Ferrari. As we now come around the final corner on the power. It's going to be a 145.1 for him. Hopefully going to find some more time on that lap. I'm not sure if that will make it through to Q2 as it stands. We do have 2 DNF drivers behind him, so that will help him a little bit, but he might need a little bit more bad luck behind if he wants to get through with that. We have one of the Williams coming to finish the lap. That is Shuriken. He's on a set of medium compound tyres coming through the bus stop now. Up towards the start-finish line. He is going to set a 143.0, only 11th fastest for him. I'm expecting to see him back out on another set of soft compound tyres to finish that one up. We have Craggy just starting his first flying lap here. Also, another driver making his debut. We have a couple drivers, Bowie, Craggy, Moofy, Unxg, all making their debuts today at Spa. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see how they can perform here. Bowie just starting his first flying lap as well. Downsy coming through Fanya. Let's see what he is able to do on this lap. Coming into Stavolo. I'm not sure if this is a push lap actually. It looks like he's backed off. In fact, he's invalidated. That explains it. Let's go to Craggy then, coming through No Name, losing the car a little bit on the exit. A couple cars of traffic he's had to navigate, but gets past them fine, flicking it into Puon. Not really riding that much curve, plenty of space left with the track limits, playing it safe on this first lap. 5 minutes left in the session. If he does invalidate, he would have the time to bail out and go for another lap. Into Stavolo now. Let's see where he can go. Apparently it's purple middle sector for him. I'm not too sure how correct that is. It doesn't look like it, no. But anyhow, into Blanchimont now. Let's see where can he put this Mercedes car. Substituting in for Dragonflies. Can he put a decent performance in? Sert has retired in the pit lane. We have a Ferrari spun around. I'm not sure. That is AD as Raven is in the pit lane. Craggy goes 7th fastest. What has happened to AD here? Just on the apex. Maybe just letting somebody through. I'm not too sure what's happened to him. Bowie now coming into the bus stop chicane. Can he get himself out of Q1? This may be his last opportunity for a lap here. 4 minutes left in the session. He goes 7th fastest. Looks quite safe for him. So, yeah. It's looking quite alright so far. Do we have anyone else on flying laps here? Dark Viper's going on an outlap. Berkey coming into the bus stop. Losing the rear though, locking up those rear tyres. Very easy to do at that corner. It's going to cost him a little bit of time, but as he comes to the line now, it's going to be a 1 minute 41.9, 8th fastest for the Aston Martin driver, getting himself what looks to be safely out of Q2, although currently 3 drivers still yet to set a lap time, and that midfield is looking very close. We could see some potential surprise knockouts here, I'd say. Raben on a lap, although he's invalidated, and unless this was an out lap and he's fueled for another lap, Raben might be very much at risk here. Currently sat in 13th, 3 cars behind yet to set a lap. He could be at risk now. Do we have anyone else on a flying lap right now? I don't think so. Remote is going out for another out lap. I'm not sure why he's doing that. Dark Viper on his probably one and only lap here, coming down the Kemmel Straight. He's going to have to hook this one up nicely if he wants to make it into... Oh, in fact, he's backing off. Never mind. He's going for a second out lap. He's on mediums, actually. Risky strategy from Dark Viper. Trying to get out of Q1 on his one and only lap on a set of medium compound tyres. Let's see what tyres have people set their laps on as of right now. Shuriken has a 1:43.0 on the mediums. It could be a bit risky for Dark Viper here. But let's see. Anybody else on flying laps? I don't believe so. We have a couple cars coming through the bus stop now, but none of them are on outlaps. The first car on an outlap is going to be the Alpha Tauri of Cyber here, just preparing to start his final flying lap. So, and then we have the Williams of Shuriken and then the Haas of Darkfire behind. 1 minute and 30 seconds still left in the session, so there is time for pretty much everybody on track to start their flying lap. Here we go now with Cyber starting his first, his final lap of this session, sorry. Currently sat on a 1:42. He's going to have to find quite a lot of time. Mufi has retired. He was in the pit lane. He's retired on a 1:42.6. Doesn't look particularly safe as it stands, but we will see if he's able to get through. Down the Kemmel Straight now, DRS open. Let's see if Cyber can get this Alpha Tauri out of Q1. Sector 1. Has he found time? No, he hasn't. He's 5 thousandths down on his Delta. He's going to have to find some time, but Sector 2 is the place to find the time. It's got so many corners in this sector. So it's one of the longest sectors as well. Sector 1 and Sector 3 only have a couple corners compared to Sector 2. You're going to find so much more time here. Down towards Pure, and we go now. Let's see, flicking it in. Can he keep it within the track limits? Slight lift of the throttle there. It's going to be interesting actually to see what people do setup-wise given the race weather. I know that if you're on a full wet setup, you can actually take Pawn flat out, which is very exciting to do. Coming towards the split line now for the second sector. Has he managed to find the time? He's 4 tenths up almost on his previous lap. He is finding time now. Now down towards Blanchimont we go. Is Cyber going to be able to find enough time to elevate his position, potentially get him out of Q1 here? Raben has not made the start-finish line. He is not going to be able to set another lap. Raben is currently in 13th place on a 1:42.6. Last time out's race winner is not going to be able to set another lap here. He is at risk now. Cyber goes 10th fastest with a 1:42.2. Raben could be at risk now. We have a couple cars. Downsy only 15th fastest. He is at risk now. Dark Viper to the line. It's only 16th for him on the medium compound tyres. That was a costly mistake for him. He is out in Q1. Next car to the line is going to be the Mercedes of Craggy, but he has invalidated, so we're not going to be seeing a fast lap time from him. Then we have Echo now coming through towards Blanchimont. Can he get his Alpine out of Q1 here and knock Downsy into the elimination zone? We also have Shuriken also on a flying lap still, so he will be pushing. AD also on a lap as well, coming through the middle sector into the chicane now. Echo is going to cross the line any second now. DRS open. Can he get himself out of Q1? Yes, he can. It's a 1:42.7, puts him up to 14th place. The last driver in the elimination zone is AD. He has invalidated though, so AD will not improve his time. He is out in Q1 as well. Unfortunately, not able to set a faster time. Remote has retired. He's on the track. And yeah, AD will be the last one. Shuriken went 10th fastest with 1:42.1 there. And Raben somehow, despite not being able to set a lap time there, has managed to scrape through to Q2. Very close to elimination there, but he has just scraped through. AD only set a 1:44 anyway, so he wouldn't have improved his position had it been valid. So unfortunately, he is out in Q1. So there we go. Here are the Q1 results. ICU fastest in Q1 by almost 2/10 there over remote. Then we had Takubi in third, Angshi close behind. This midfield is looking very close as well. 4 cars in the 141.9s. Sert, Bowie, Berkey and Craggy. But then the elimination zone, Josh, Dantax, AD Downsy and Dark Viper out in Q1. Dark Viper unable to get out after risking it on the medium compound tyres. He will start 17th on the grid, unfortunately for him. Unfortunate for the Haas driver. Both Haases out in Q1. Not something we see on pure pace. Dark Viper does quite often like to start at the back, though. We saw it in Jeddah doing that last to first. We've seen it a couple times more as well this season. It is something he has done a couple of times, so maybe it's going to pay off again for him. Overtaking isn't too hard at Spa. You can come through the field here, so there's definitely potential if he wanted to make his way through. Should he have the pace to do so? Into Q2 now, and 15 drivers left, 15 minutes to go. And then we will lose another 5 to go for that top 10 shootout to see who is going to take pole position. Lots of cars heading out early here. So let's see. Who have we got going out? We have Angshi, the first driver, onto the track here. And he is going to be making his way around. Let's just have a quick look at the tyres that everybody has gone for. Everybody on the soft compound tyres here. No surprises now. You need the pace here. I expect to see quite a few drivers on used soft tyres, though. I can already see of the 3 drivers who I can see their tyre wear, they are on used tyres. So there are a couple drivers out there just on a used set to set a banker lap, get a delta, and go out later for another push lap on a new set, or maybe even just commit to the old set, try to make it through to Q3 on those tyres. So shouldn't be too much longer until we get a car on a push lap. Angshi just coming through the Fanya chicane towards Stavolo. So yeah, shouldn't be too much longer until he is on his flying lap and pushing away. Tyre wear is quite high at Spa, given that the length of the track. It's the longest track on the calendar, 7.004 kilometers. So yeah, it's the tyre wear is naturally high. Lots of corners at the track as well, so you do tend to get lots of tyre wear, and that could show a larger pace gap in these used tyre runs compared to what we've seen over the course of the season so far. Angshi now on the run down towards Eau Rouge. Let's see, can he hook this one up nicely? It's quite easy to lose your lap here with the track limits, and we will be getting some wet weather conditions later on in the race, and that will excite things a little bit more through a couple of these corners, which normally would just be flat out. Eau Rouge, Radion, to an extent, the second half of Pouon can be, depending on how wet it gets. Blanchimont as well, all which would usually be completely flat out, and you might start to see drivers lifting or potentially even braking at some of them. But let's see how it goes. Angshi now coming into Pouon, flicking that car in, riding that inside curb, trying to take the shortest line possible now into Fanya. Oh, losing the car though through the middle section of that chicane. That's going to have cost him a bit of time. Let's see, sector 2 split. It's a 113. We'll see quickly what is Sert doing behind 113, 114 for Sert. So Angshi doing better than Sert was through the first 2 sectors. Coming towards the bus stop now. Let's see where Angshi is going to put this Alfa Romeo. as we come onto the start-finish straight now. DRS open, run to the line is quite short here. Sets a 1:41.6. So decent lap time for the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's see now Sert. As he's gone second fastest with 1:42.7. Next car to the line, we had Echo 1:43.0 goes third fastest. Then we have Cyber 43.0 as well, just slightly pipping Echo there. Mufi now into the bus stop. It was a 1:13.9 middle sector for him, not too bad. To the line now, where is he going to put his car? It's a 1:42.500 goes second fastest, very satisfying time. Sert actually exactly 2 tenths behind that at 1:42.700. Then we have the Ferrari of remote second fastest at 1:41.7 for him. And ICU just starting his lap now. Barbans goes third fastest at 1:41.9. And Berkey through the bus stop. He is going to set a 1:42.9 seventh fastest as it stands for him. And then Shamban into the pit lane. He invalidated his lap, unfortunately. Takubi coming towards Blanchimont. Where can he put his Mercedes car? As we come towards the bus stop chicane now. Braking at that 100-meter board on the left. Flicking in left then right. Or right then left, sorry. And to the line, it's a 1:41.9 for him. Just 100th faster than Barbans, putting him into third place. ICU, the only driver on a push lap now. He has a bit of traffic in front of him. He's managed to navigate a couple cars already. Just one more in front of him now. Losing the rear a little bit there through Pouan. It's very easy to do that. We saw Giovinazzi in 2019 on the penultimate lap of that race. Lost the car, lost him points in that race actually. ICU now coming through onto the back straight, down towards Blanchimont we go, taking the shortest possible line. Picked up a little bit of grass there on the right hand side, but it's not going to affect him. This is basically a straight, flicking it now into Blanchimont towards the bus stop chicane. There's a Alfa Romeo off track there, getting out the way. A couple cars, more traffic here as well. ICU now to the line. Can he go fastest of all? No, he can't. It's only 5th fastest for him. Potentially used tyres on that car. Mufi going very slowly through the bus stop. I think he's run out of fuel. That would be the logical explanation for that one. Berkey coming into the pit lane. Bowie and Shuriken now on laps. Shuriken coming down the Camel Straight towards Les Combes. And then Malmedy flicking it in now. Right, then left. Very fast corners. It's very tricky to carry the speed through there. That section of corners can lose you so much time if you get it wrong. And then downhill Bruxelles, turn 8. Another tricky braking zone. No name, and then we're on the run now down the hill towards Pouan. Let's see, can he keep it within the track limits here as he flicks it in? Yes, he can, playing it again quite safe compared to what we're probably going to see on the final laps in Q3. But now, let's see, Shuriken coming to the middle sector. It's a 1:13.7. Looking decent so far for the Williams driver. Let's see how it compares when he comes to the end of this lap. Couple tenths up on what some of the guys around him have been doing. Let's see if he is able to finish this lap on a high. We also got Bowie and Craggy also on laps. Bowie coming towards Blanchimont now. Shuriken to the line. Sets a 1:42.0. 5th fastest. Just misses out on Barbans by a 10th. Barbans retires. He feels comfortable in P4. Bowie now to the line. Coming towards the bus stop actually. Is going to set, as we approach the line, a 1:42.1, just another 10th off of Shuriken. We've got Shamban and Cracky coming through Stavolo. Let's see, what can Craggy do here on this lap? Can he get himself into a decent position, potentially getting himself out of Q2 here on debut, it would be a very good performance to make his way out of Q2. All four of the debutants actually made it out of Q1, and I think we're going to see some of them in Q2 and Q3 as well. So to the line now for Craggy, it's a 1:42.9, only 11th fastest as it stands, and then we have Shamban through Puon now. Let's see. Is he going to be able to hook this lap up? 5.5 minutes left in the session. As long as he has fuel, I think he should be able to make it back to the pit lane. He'd struggle a bit if he runs out of fuel at the end of this lap. But there still should be plenty of time. 1 minute 40 lap times. Maybe 3 minutes to get back to the pits without fuel. It shouldn't be too horrible for him. But now towards the bus stop chicane. Let's see, where can he get his AlphaTauri? His teammate currently sat in 13th with a 1:43.0. Can he beat that as he comes to the line? Yes, he can. It's a 1:42.6 for him. And now we just have a couple of cars heading back to the pit lane. Nobody currently on a flying lap. So just looking at some of these times, actually. Some of the drivers I'd say at risk right now. Obviously, Raven, Craggy, Bucky, Cyber, Echo, currently the 5 drivers in the elimination zone. Sert currently sat in P10, but only 200th ahead of his teammate Raven in P11. So he is very much at risk. Mufi also only a couple tenths ahead of Sert. If the guys behind have been running new tyres, I think they can still also find that extra 2 tenths or so. So we can see Mufi heading out onto track now. The first car to head out, Sert following suit as well. Shamban is going to be... Shamban, I think there's a chance that Shamban could get through with that lap, but it's going to be quite close, to be honest. I think there's potential that some drivers could find the time to beat that. It's only half a second for Sert and Raven to find that. A couple tenths for Mufi, and he would be in the elimination zone then. It's a bit risky. He should have time to come back and do another lap, though. I expect more pace from ICU. He set a much faster lap time in Q1 than that, so he should safely be able to set another lap as long as he's able to keep it within the track limits, and I think he'll be fine. And then that group after Bowie, P6 and up, I think they're marginal, but they should be safe at least. Bowie is heading out onto track just to be safe. Sert going past Mufi there as they get prepared to start their laps. Shuriken says he's going to gamble. I assume, is not going out. There we go. Shuriken retires from the qualifying session. Takubi is going out onto track, interestingly. Maybe the track evolution, the new tyres could put some drivers at risk. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's a used set and he's just getting a bit of practice in, ready for Q3. Feel the grip out as it's improving through the session. Here we go now with Sert into La Source. Let's see what he can do right now. Let's have a look actually quickly while Sert is going down the Camel Straight at the Q1 times. 10th place was a 42.1 set by Shuriken. So a 42.1 would currently put you in 6th place. So potentially from Bowie down are at risk. Shuriken might have made a very smart call here and have made it through into Bruxelles now with Sert down the hill towards No Name. It's looked like a decent lap so far from him. But it could be a gamble given the track improvement. It was quite close behind him as well for the 11th position, 12th position in Q1. Let's see what these guys can do, though. Sert's now coming to the end of this lap. He does have a Mercedes in front of him, who is going to have to get out his way. He might pick up a tow here. Sert is 7/10 up through the middle sector. He's currently on for a 42.0. Gets a bit of a tow there off of the Mercedes of Craggy, I believe that was. Now through Blanchimont, he's going to get not really a tow off of that Aston Martin, a bit too far off of the line, into the final braking zone of the lap though. Can Sert get himself out of Q2 here? Coming to the line now, Sert is going to set a 1 minute 41.8. He goes third fastest, ahead of Shuriken and Barbans, who have both retired from the session. They look to be at risk now. And then we have a couple drivers starting laps behind. Next car to the line is going to be the Alpha Tauri of Shanban on our lap. So it's going to be Cyber, who's 8/10 up, nearly 9/10 up. He is looking to find time on his lap as well. Could be on to go for a similar time as Sert if he can find some time through the bus stop. 2 seconds left, 1 second. The checkered flag is out. Shanban did just about make it to the line. This will be everybody's final lap, though. We have yellow flags. That is a McLaren. I assume that is Sert going slowly. Here comes Cyber towards the start-finish line. It's a 42.3. Only 10th fastest for Cyber. Very much at risk with that lap time. Next car to the line is going to be Echo in the Alpine there. A second up on his time. As it stands, he is looking to overthrow Cyber for that Q3 position. Can he keep it together through the final chicane, though? Is he able to hold this time together? Craggy close behind him as well. I believe that was on his lap. Maybe it was Takubi. A second found. He goes 6th fastest. Cyber is out of Q2. Takubi goes fastest with a 1:41.0, finding more time to set the pace there. Raben 5th fastest. Shanban into the knockout zone. Is he going to be able to find the time to get out here? Shuriken looking very much at risk now. All these drivers finding so much time. Bowie coming towards the line. Is he going to be able to find an improvement as well? Yes, he can. He goes 2nd fastest. Shuriken down to 9th. ICU behind as well. It looks like Shuriken could be out here in qualifying. Next car to the line is Berkey. What time is he going to do on his new set of softs? It's 5th fastest for Berkey. Shuriken down to 10th. He is almost out of qualifying here. Next car is going to be ICU. Shuriken is out. ICU goes 2nd fastest. Barban's at risk now. Echo is out as well. Are we going to see both Alpines out in qualifying? Shanban and Mufi, the two that can overthrow it. Shanban now marginally up on his time. Not much found through the first 2 sectors. Coming towards the finish line, though. Is he going to be able to get out of qualifying too? No, he can't. It's only 11th fastest. Last car on a lap now is Mufi, but he is invalidated. He's into the pit lane. Barban scrapes through by 0.02 of a second. Very close for the Alpine driver there. Almost out of qualifying. Oh, have I been muted? Oh, no, I haven't. OBS wasn't updating. Alright. Yeah. 15 milliseconds. Separating Barbans and Shanban. Very close between the pair of them. Shanban just missing out, unfortunately. They're on such a long lap for a gap that small to be decided. And look at the gap between Shanban and Echo. 2 milliseconds between them. 10th, 11th and 12th. Covered by 17 milliseconds. That was extremely close between those 3 drivers. And unfortunately, Barban's coming out on top, making it into Q3. The other 2 knocked out in Q2. Takubi managing to go fastest here in Q2 though. So, congratulations to him. Not worth anything yet, though. Compared to Q1, a couple tenths faster, we could be breaking into the 1 minute 40s in this fight for pole. But as we were saying, Shanban, Echo, Shuriken, Cyber, and Mufi out in Q2. And look at the gaps between Barban, Shanban, and Echo. Extremely close there. Shuriken also quite close to being able to make it through. Had he gone for another lap, I think he would have had the pace to make it. As he was on those used tyres. And also the McLaren's not too far off. And look how close the midfield is as well. Remote, Berkey, Craggy, only separated by 0.02. This is looking like a very close battle as we head into Q3, the top 10 shootout. Who is going to take pole here? My money is on ICU. But as we just saw in Q2, Takubi is going to bring him a fight. And, This is going to be a very interesting one. If anybody wants to say what they think, then put it into the chat, and yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's see who is going to be heading out onto track first. So I see movement in the Ferrari garage, I believe, yes. Remote's garage, I can see a mechanic coming out of now. Also in, I believe that's the McLaren, no, it's the Alpine garage. We can see ICU also heading out in a second. So a couple drivers making their way out onto the track now. Goat predicting a pole for Unxg. Kills expects a sub 140, a 1 minute 39 from ICU. I would be very surprised if they get that far, to be honest. 139 is quite a ridiculous pace, to be honest. But first car out on track, Barbens in the Alpine after his recent transfer from McLaren to Alpine. Wasn't a great Q2 performance for him, very nearly out, but he did scrape through. Let's see, can he redeem himself in this final qualifying session? Let's have a quick look at the previous session times while we wait for the drivers to make their way around. So in Q1 we had ICU on a 41.3, Remote a 41.5, Takubi a 41.5. Q2, the top three was Takubi 41.0, ICU 41.2, and Bowie only a 41.6. So that gap did spread out. Potentially some guys running some used tyres there. A couple drivers not going out for second laps potentially. We will see. But I think this is going to be a very close battle for this final in this final session here. Let me just fix this. Okay, so Barbant's now coming to the bus stop. There we go. Okay, on to start the first lap of Q3 now. Shuriken predicting a 40.745 for pole position. We will see how close he gets. Following the trend of the first two qualifying sessions, it wouldn't be too surprising. Barbans losing the rear out of La Source there. That's going to have cost him some time. And it's such a long run, flat out, from La Source all the way through Eau Rouge, up Radion, and then towards Les Combes. You're going to be looking at losing probably a couple tenths just from that one small mistake, maybe even up to half a second. 29.9 first sector for him, still not bad for him. Raben that's Sert behind, just gone through the first sector split as well. And Barbans, despite that mistake, still currently has the fastest first sector. Everybody else, 30-0, 30-0, 33 I'm seeing from the rest of them. But they are very close behind, less than a tenth between three of the drivers. Another 29.9 on the table for Takubi. He is keeping pace with Barbans on this first run. Let's see now, as he comes to the middle sector split, Barbans is going to set another purple sector as he is the first one through. A 42.8 middle sector split for him. Now the run down towards Blanchimont. Sert crosses the middle sector. 44.6. It's not a good middle sector for Sert so far. But Remote fastest through the middle sector. He was a 10th down through sector 1. He's a 10th up through the middle sector. Remote and Barbans on very similar pace right now. Barbans across the line now. It's a 40.8 for him. Very good lap. Let's see though. We have Sert. He is coming to the line now. And he says a 43.7. I think that's on used tyres. Remote now coming to the line as well. Did he invalidate? I think Remote might have invalidated. He was on for a good lap. A 40.850. He was going to be only a hundredths off of Barbans, but he invalidated that lap. Next car to the line. ICU also invalidating, I think. Yes. Lots of cars struggling here with the track limits. Takubi goes second fastest with a 41.3, fastest final sector for him. But yeah, lots of cars improving here. Angstji fastest now in the first sector, 43.7, second sector for him. We have Craggy now coming to the line, and then it's Berkey closely following behind. Craggy sets a 41.5, third fastest. A Mercedes 2.3 as it stands. Berkey across the line sets a 41.6 just behind Craggy. And then we have Angstji. Had a decent start to this lap. Let's see what he can do now across the line. It's only a 41.6. That middle sector letting him down. Lost quite a lot of time compared to the people around him. And then Raben 41.9 goes ahead of his teammate here on the first runs of Q2. ICU and Remote, the only two drivers yet to set a time in Q3. Everybody else on in-laps as it stands. I'm not sure if ICU or Raven are pushing. I can tell you that Remote, is definitely not pushing. He's 10 seconds down through the middle sector. ICU's matching or decent sectors might complete this lap to get a delta. Yes, he will. But I believe I keep saying Raven. Remote will be into the pit lane. ICU goes 7th fastest with a 41.7. Almost a second off of Barbant's pole time. Barbant's currently a couple tenths out in front. Almost 3 tenths, out in front. And then 7 tenths back to P3. The gaps right now looking very large. But yeah, we'll be expecting pretty much everybody back into the pit lane. 5 minutes left in the session. ICU not going to be happy where he is right now. He's started on the front row, I believe, in every race he's participated in. So being down in P7, he's not going to be all that pleased, to be honest. Let's see, though. He will have time for one more flying lap at the end of this session. We will have to wait and see what he is able to do. So the track is going to quieten down a little bit in very soon. Yeah, I saw that Remote. In a second, once ICU gets back to the pit lane, we're going to have no cars out on track. But yeah, 4 minutes left in the session. It hopefully shouldn't take too long before we see cars back out. Spa is quite a long lap, time and distance wise, so we should expect to see some drivers heading out in a minute or so to start preparing for their final runs in qualifying. Remote probably going to be going out a bit early, maybe. I'm not too sure about that. Certain Remote not really having representative times though so far. Remote obviously invalidating that lap, which would have put him second fastest as it stands, 15 milliseconds behind Barbant's. Sert on a 43.7, which I believe is used tyres, 2 seconds off of his teammate, 3 seconds off of pole. We were seeing low 42s in Q2 to make it into Q3, so we'll expect to see a faster time from the Ferrari driver. Angstji heading back out onto track now. So is one of the McLarens. Not sure yet which one it's going to be. Lots of cars heading out as well. We've got a Mercedes and the Ferrari of Remote. It is Raven heading out first. So we've got 4 cars out on track. Sert's now heading out as well. Lots of drivers making their way out now. 2 minutes 40 left in the session. They will be getting ready to set their final laps here, warming those tyres up to that optimum temperature and getting that grip nice and ready. Trying to put as little wear on the tyres while keeping them at temperature. It's tricky to do, but if you drag those brakes, it makes it a lot easier. Angstji will be the first person to do a lap here. I don't think he'll make it with enough time to do a second out lap. 2 minutes 10 left on the clock. It would be quite close to making it, but I don't think he's going to do so. everybody now out on track. 2 minutes left on the clock, so they do all have plenty of time. About 30 seconds margin for the last car, which is ICU, to make it around. But yeah, Angstji is going to be the first car to set a lap. 1 minute 40 now left on the clock, so he will not have time to go again. This will be everybody's final laps here in Q3. So here we go now with Angstji into the bus stop chicane, setting his lap up, and off we go. DRS open on that Sauber car towards La Source, braking nice and late for turn 1. Now down the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radion, some of the most iconic corners of the Formula 1 calendar. Very easy to lose your lap here. But he plays it very safe with those track limits. Along we go now down the Kemmel Straight. What sector time are we looking at for Angstji here? It's a 29.9. He's down on his first lap, but I believe his first lap was a purple sector, so it's not too bad. We now see the two McLarens have started their laps as well. Remote just about to start his, while Angstji coming through turn 8 and into No Name Corner now. I'm keeping an eye on those sector times just to see if anybody is going faster. Into Pouon for the Alfa Romeo. Let's see where he can go. Not seeing any purple sectors yet. Raben very close though, slightly faster than what Angstji was able to do. Coming now towards the middle sector split for Angstji. 3/10 up on his lap. He is finding pace in the middle sector. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough for pole though, unless he has time to find in the final sector. It's looking alright so far for him. Takubi set a purple sector 1 though. He is flying along. Let's see. Angstji now coming into the bus stop chicane. Does he have more time to find in this lap? His middle sector split would have put him up to P2. Or P3, sorry. Can he go higher? Across the line now. It's a 1:41.1 for him. Second fastest, just ahead of Takubi. But there are other cars behind on laps as well. Raben, the next one, 6/10 up on his lap. Currently on for a 41.3 would put him 4th fastest. But again, potentially some time to find in the middle sector for the McLaren driver. Let's see what he can do now into the bus stop chicane. His teammate close behind as well. We're going to see another lap from the McLaren very soon. Losing the rear though a little bit on the exit of that final corner. 4th fastest for him. It's a 41.1. Very close between 2, 3 and 4. Sert's now coming through the bus stop. He's up on his time by a massive delta. Across the line, it's only 6th fastest. A 1:41.5. Next is Remote. Yet to set a lap. Let's see. Can he propel himself up? It's 2nd fastest only. A 1:40.880. Takubi 2nd fastest now. 1:40.850. Matching that lap that Remote did invalid earlier on in the session. That invalidation has cost Remote P2 here. But Angstji has done his lap. We've got a few drivers still on laps behind though. Lots of cars very close together. Bowie now coming through the bus stop. Berkey and Barben's close behind. Bowie 6th fastest across the line. Berkey then goes 6th fastest. Barben's across the line goes even fastest. A 1:46 for him. Craggy 1:41.3. ICU now the final car across the line. Has he taken pole? I don't think he has. I think he's invalidated his lap. ICU is going to start the Belgian Grand Prix from 10th place on the grid. Barbens takes pole by a 1/10 of a second. ICU having that mistake on that first lap, invalidating, went for a second run just to get a time on the table. It wasn't fast enough to get him any more positions than P10 after that invalidation on the final lap. ICU is going to start the race from 10th on the grid. Barbens takes pole by over a 1/10 of a second, getting into the 1:40.6s as Remote predicted. Takubi and Remote very close together. Takubi and Remote setting the same lap time had Remote not invalidated. His first lap for Remote ending up 300s behind. Then it was Angstji, Raben, Berkey, Bowie, Craggy, Sert and ICU. That mid-pack again very close. 4th down to 8th, separated by 2.5 of a second. What a qualifying session. Sorry, 4th down to 9th I believe it was actually. But now onto the grid. We will be selecting our strategies. Alright, session is about to start with rain on the way. This race could get exciting. Here come the lights though, as we get ready to start this Belgium Grand Prix. We have 5 lights. And we are away here in Spa. It's a good start for Barbans. He's going to maintain the lead out of this race start. Although I see Takubi trying it around the outside. Ungsti also trying it around the remote. Barbans is going to maintain the lead, I think, but down the hill, Takubi has got the better run out of turn 1. He is going to take the lead, wheel to wheel now, into Eau Rouge they go, Ungsti and Remote. It's very tricky to keep it clean through here. They have managed to do so, though. ICU already up a couple positions, up from 10th to 7th off of the grid. Now down the Camel straight we go. Barbans in that slipstream. Here comes Remote to the inside, having a look. Here comes Ungsti now, pulling out alongside Remote. They're going to try it now into Lake Com. Not quite able to make that overtake happen. It's very tricky to make overtakes here, especially at the race start. Little bit of lag there from the Alfa Romeo behind. Bowie getting overtaken by Berkey. Ungsti up the inside, and there's a crash. Barbans is round. Lots of chaos on this race start. Lots of cars with ring damage. We have a virtual safety car. Couple 5-second time penalties given out, but we have a massive crash there. Lots of the top guys getting involved in that. Ungsti, Barbans, both taking wing damage. Bowie getting involved as well, dropping down some positions. From the back of the grid, pretty much, Dark Viper up to 10th. We have a virtual safety car here. Takubi and Remote, I believe, have survived. Who else has survived this? Who has taken some wing damage as well? ICU has no front wing. He's managed to get up to P4, but he's lost his front wing. He's going to be into the pits at the end of this lap. Bowie, the other driver that's showing up as front wing damage for me, he's missing his front wing as well. Anybody else, I'd expect Barbans may have some wing damage. I believe Ungsti has wing damage as well after going into the Alpine car there. He is missing an end plate, so a couple drivers with wing damage here. Unfortunately, it's not a full safety car. Takubi leads us on the first lap under this virtual safety car from Remote, then Raben. And then once ICU pits for that wing damage, it's going to be Sert up to P4. Virtual safety car is in, so the drivers who have to come into the pits are not going to benefit. Takubi leads us away after the first lap. DRS not enabled until the start of lap 3. So we have ICU, Craggy, Bowie, Berkey, and Ungsti all into the pits after that lap 1 incident. And very unfortunately, they are going to be dropping way back here. About 18 seconds, I believe, is the pit loss here. But there's always chaos to come in Spa. Down the Camel straight now, Takubi has managed to pull away from Remote. Then we're not going to be seeing too many overtakes out front. But Sertdogan closing in on his teammate now is going to pull out alongside and ahead of his teammate. He doesn't need the DRS. He's going to get up to P3. Currently the podium positions for Sert as it stands. He's yet to take a podium this season, but it could now come after this switch to McLaren. Raben under pressure from Shamban as we head down to Bruxelles. Not going to be seeing a move there, though. It's a very tricky braking zone to get right. Downsy closing in on Josh as well. Not quite close enough to be making a move there either. But now, on the run through No Name, could we see some people daring to make the move into Pill 1? It's a bit of a tricky braking zone to do that into. Not quite able to make a move here for Shamban. All over the back of Kills. He has Shurakan pressuring him from behind as well. Could try it into Fanya, but I think he's a bit too far back. Not a very heavy braking zone. The best overtaking opportunities on this track into the bus stop and into Lake Com. It's quite tricky to overtake through the middle sector. Not too many heavy braking zones, but as we always see here in Sdrl, people do dare to make it happen. Toad, I'm not too sure. All I saw was Barbans was spun round at Bruxelles and everybody piled into the back of him. I'm not too sure how he got spun. That's all I know. As of right now, Shamban closing in on Raben into the bus stop. Josh getting past Echo as well. Dantax and AD fighting as well. Could we see a move from AD down into the bus stop? He's a bit too far back to be making that one. Now down towards La Source we go. Josh and Echo fighting it. Echo has the inside line. He's later on the brakes. He does make that move. Downsy into the back of Josh there a little bit. Getting a better exit now on the run down to Eau Rouge. Down the hill. Who is going to get ahead as we head down the hill? Through Eau Rouge now. Downsy backing out. Playing it safe. Doesn't want to cause any chaos here. Shurakan, Shamban, Cyber very close together. We have a train now formed from 3rd down to 7th. Very close together. Here comes Raben now getting past his teammate. Shurakan and Shamban now fighting it as well. Into Fanya. Here comes Cyber on a run and there's contact between those two drivers. Shurakan out of the race. So is Cyber. We're going to get a safety car here. And that is a big crash. Shurakan just losing the car there. Collecting Cyber as he went for an overtake into Fanya. We have a full safety car. This really benefits the likes of ICU, Bowie, Berkey, Craggy and Ungsti here. as they will now be able to catch back up, potentially pit stops. Let's see what tyres people have started this race on. This could play into the strategy. Takubi on the soft compound tyres, Mufi as well starting on those softs, so that explains why they have been able to pull away and make some positions up here. Remote, Raven, Sert on the hards, Echo, Barbance also starting on those hards. Maybe we're going to see some pit stops from Takubi and Mufi. 3-second time penalty for Josh for track limits there under that safety car. Toad, Shuriken and Cyber. I think Shuriken lost the rear and just collected Cyber. If you clip it, or the VOD is available, so you can go back and watch that. But we do have a full safety car now. Is anybody gonna dare to make their way into the pit lane here? And there we go, Takubi coming in. Early pit stop for him off of those soft compound tyres. Remote stays out to take the lead of this race. Raven and Sert also doing the same. Shanban stays out. Dark Viper stays out. What a race start from Dark Viper, by the way. 11 positions gained. Josh going to be up 14. Sorry, 12 from Dark Viper up. Josh up 14 positions. They are on a flyer on this race start here. Josh, the highest I think he's ever run this season, to be honest. Currently his best finish is P9. He's currently running P6. It's a very good start for the Red Bull driver. AD up to P10 as it stands. He might, he is going to stay P10. But AD running in the points right now. Could we see AD taking his maiden points finish here at Spa? It always brings a bit of chaos, does this track. AD said he doesn't really think he has the pace, but like I said, we do see some Chaos 2 cars getting involved in the incident there. We saw the lap 1 incident as well. It could be the time for AD to take some points home. You never know what's going to happen here. So as for the guys who have pitted, Takubi pitted onto some hard compound tyres, came out down in P8. He's probably going to have the pace. Craggy has left the session. Let's see if we can get him an invite. Craggy, do I have him added? I don't have him added. I think Sert should be able to get him in. Otherwise, though... Alright, Craggy, I don't know if you added me, but yeah, if you let me know once you're back in, I sent you a friend request, I believe, or I already had you added, I'm not too sure. But yeah, if I don't have you added, then just go and ask Sert. He'll be able to get you back in. But yeah, as for tyre strategy, we have Takubi in P8. Well, there we go. There's some information from the chat. Rain in 10 minutes. Not going to be too heavy, but we might see some drivers making their way onto the intermediates. You only need 2 laps of intermediate conditions, where the intermediates are faster, to make that time up. The slick tyres are about 10 seconds a lap slower in the wet conditions. So even if it's just for 2 or 3 laps, it is beneficial to pit onto that set of intermediate tyres. And then also we have Downsy onto some hards down in P11, Mufi onto mediums in P12, Dantax, Berkey on hards as well, 14th and 16th respectively. ICU after a really poor start from him onto some new mediums. He's down in 15th. And then we also have Craggy and Unkschi 17th and 18th on some new mediums. But after a couple drivers starting on those soft compound tyres, everybody has elected for a set of the softs. Craggy is back into the session. That is all good. So we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, so Josh, the only driver so far to receive a penalty, has 3 seconds as it stands, unfortunately for him. Could come back to bite him later on in the race, especially if we do get a late safety car. There you go. We can see who has made the pit stops. Takubi, Downsy, Mufi, Bowie, and Dantax made 1 pit stop. ICU, Berkey, Craggy, and Unkschi have made 2. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see how these new tyres compare to the old tyres of that top 7. Is Takubi able to cut his way back through the field before that rain comes down? Because if the rain does come down hard enough, everybody's going to be onto a set of intermediates. It could come down to who can time the strategy right. Who will be ready to jump first onto that set of intermediates. It can be risky going early, because you will risk putting a lot of wear onto your set of inters. But that undercut could be worth it. You never know around here. It's such a long lap. Often you see the rain on one lap. If you wait another lap, it's full inters conditions by the time you get back around, and it could be too late, in fact. You've already lost too much time on your in lap. Simply because it is such a long lap. It can be up to 2 minutes in the wet conditions. You can risk losing a lot of time. But everybody has caught up. The safety car should be in at the end of this lap, and it will be down to Remote to dictate the pace on the in lap. We are just coming to the sector line now, and there we go. Safety car is in this lap. So Remote will start to back the pack up. Very good showing from McLaren so far, obviously benefiting from a few drivers getting caught out at the start, but they are currently sat in P2 and P3, looking like a decent result for them. After the last 2 races out, they have taken a win. One with Barbans at Japan and one with Raben last time out at Barcelona. But now we wait for Remote to make the jump. When is he going to go racing again? Safety car is into the pit lane. It's all up to Remote to make this decision now. And coming into the bus stop now. When is he going to make that decision to get back on the throttle, push away? He's done it now. Here we go racing again in Spa. Remote getting a very decent start there. Getting a nice jump on Raben behind. Doesn't really look like anybody's going to be close enough to making a move into La Source, though. Potentially Downsy having a look on AD further back. Here he goes around the outside. AD defending that inside line very nicely. But Downsy's going to get the up and under, and there's contact between Downsy and AD. They come together. AD is spinning around. He was up in P10. And now he's dropped all the way to the back. Downsy has some wing damage as well. That might get investigated by the FIA. Here comes Takubi now, getting past Echo. Josh in the slipstream of Takubi as well. Could he dare to make the move around the outside into Lecom? Not quite close enough to make that move. Takubi getting on the power much earlier with those newer tyres. He's able to keep that position ahead of the Red Bull, up to P6 already on that restart. Very nice restart from him. Downsy dropping all the way down the order. ICU getting past Mufi into Bruxelles there. Turn 8, very tricky overtaking opportunity, but he has managed to get it done. Getting a nice exit out of the previous corner, setting him up very nicely. Dark Viper and Shamban all over the back of Raben. Sert is pulling away in P2 from his teammate. Raben starting to hold these guys up a little bit. Maybe a bit of team orders here between the McLaren guys working together to try and get that gap. It will definitely help when the intermediate conditions come. We saw it in the F1 Sim Racing series actually as well. With Ferrari, with Haas. It is possible to pull off if you can do it well. It's just trying to defend it. Now down towards the bus stop. Shamban in that slipstream. He is gaining rapidly, pulling out already through Blanchimont. Is he going to try it round the outside into the bus stop chicane? He is going to go for that move. He does get ahead, but there's contact between Raben and Shamban. Raben spinning Shamban round. Shamban losing a couple positions. Dark Viper gets past. And so does Takubi. Takubi up to P5 now. Could we see Takubi having a look on Dark Viper now into La Source? Not quite close enough to make that move work. ICU sets the fastest lap of the race. He's up to P11 already after that poor start from him. And now we have Downsy and AD. Downsy into the pit lane. AD has stayed out, but he is only down in P17. Here comes Takubi now, down, up through Eau Rouge and Radion, onto the Camel Straight now. Raben is going to be under so much pressure here, but from the 2 cars behind, Dark Viper pulling out to the left-hand side. Here comes Takubi to the inside line now, squeezing himself onto the grass. Is he going to make that move stick? Yes, he does, to the inside of the McLaren driver, getting up into P3. What a recovery on those new tyres from Takubi. Only 2 cars left, and he's back up into P1. Are we going to see any more overtakes further behind as well? Any drivers trying to cut their way through? ICU very close to the back of Bowie down in P10. He's going to try it. Sorry, that was Barbans and Josh. Through No Name corner. Now here comes Bowie to the outside of Pawn. Is he going to try and make this one stick around the outside? He is going to try, and he has done it. Bowie round the outside at Pawn. What a move. ICU now getting past his teammate. Team orders there at Red Bull. He's getting let past. Nice work though from Bowie. What a move there. Mufi and Echo also getting very close together. Echo losing the rear though. Here comes the Mercedes of Craggy on Mufi through that corner. I can't remember the name of now ICU getting past Bowie. They're going to go 3 wide through Blanchimont. Bowie having Anstey having a look as well. They're 2x2 through Blanchimont now, and there's contact. The Aston Martin sent spinning around. Murphy has front wing damage. Heat into the barriers. There was contact. That was inevitable. 2x2 through Blanchimont. It's never going to work, guys. And we have another virtual safety car. Murphy has managed to survive that incident though, but that was so unfortunate for him. Virtual safety car is deployed. Remote leading 1.5 ahead of Sert, and then Takubi just behind him. Mega restart from Takubi up to P3. He has that tyre advantage as well, which is going to help him. Raben in P4, still defending that position from Dark Viper and Shamban behind. Barbans up to P7, ICU up to P8, but Craggy, Angshi, Echo and Mufi tried to fight it through Blanchimont, and it just did not work out. Let's see now. Virtual safety car will probably be in relatively soon. We've done about half a lap here. And drive through for Downsy. Drive through for Downsy there. Did anybody else get a drive through? It was just Downsy. That is really unfortunate of him. Down in P17. He's going to be dropping very far back now. He is not going to be happy with that one. Takubi all over the back of Sert now. As they head towards Fanya. I think we might see a move here. ICU goes past Barbans into Fanya as well. Not fighting that one. Barbans letting ICU through. He has the newer tyres. Angshi getting past Josh as well. On the exit, Josh had a try there, but he did not have the grip to keep that one going. Unfortunate, though, for those guys like Takubi getting past Sert on the exit of Stavilo. He's up into second place now. Could Sert try it, though, with that slipstream down towards the bus stop chicane? I don't think he's quite gaining enough. Craggy getting past Josh as well through Blanchimont. Lots of battles happening further back down the grid. Here comes Berkey having a look on Echo. He's going to try and get that up and under now on the exit of the final corner. He has the DRS, but so does Echo on the run down towards turn 1 last source. Who's going to get later on the brakes here? Echo has that inside line. Berkey has the outside. They're going to keep this one going all the way down the hill towards Eau Rouge now we go. Echo slotting in behind, taking that slipstream down the Camel Straight. He's going to get a very nice run up the hill now. Through Radion we go. Are we going to see a move here? ICU gets past Shamban with that DRS. He could be sizing up a move on Dark Viper as well, coming down the Camel Straight. Raben getting overtaken by Dark Viper. Shamban had to try it on the outside there, not quite close enough. A little bit of contact. Raben almost losing the car there, but he does keep it going. Echo, unfortunately, not able to re-overtake the Aston Martin driver. ICU having a look to the inside now of Raben into Bruxelles. He does manage to get past. We have Mufi out of the session. He's retired in the pit lane after that incident he had. Josh dropping down to 14th. He was running in P6 early on in the race. Those older tyres not working out for him so far. Lot down 8 positions from that safety car restart. Takubi up 6 positions from 8th up to 2nd. 3-second time penalty for Josh. Unfortunate for him. Barbans and Craggy still going at it though on this lap. Angshi now on the back of Bo in the Alfa Romeo. Could we be seeing another move into Blanchimont? Last time we saw a move there, it did not end well. But this time he's going to get the move done much earlier. I think he got a much better exit out of Stavilo. He has the inside line for Blanchimont 1. Until the second one, he's already ahead. Nice and easy move from him. Takubi all over the back of Remote now with those newer tyres. Are we going to see a swap of the lead for the first time since that safety car when Takubi pitted onto those newer tyres? It's only a 3-lap tyre advantage, but it's proven very beneficial for him. Lots of close battles still throughout the midfield, as we do have lots of drivers coming back through after some poor starts. ICU up to 5th now after that lap 1 incident. Here comes Takubi now down the Camel Straight. They're already pulling out from the slipstream of Remote. DRS open now and down the Camel Straight. Takubi takes the race lead here. He has that tyre advantage and he's going to try and pull away from Remote now. ICU getting past Dark Viper as well. Here comes Raben on ICU as well, pulling to the outside. Could he try it round the outside into Lecom? No, he can't. Not quite close enough. He's trying to set up a switch back there. Craggy and Bowie fighting through Lecom as well. There's so many battles happening through the midfield. It's kind of hard to keep track of it. ICU, Dark Viper and Raben. Raben going deep, and that's let Dark Viper and Angshi through. Raben losing a couple positions in the space of one corner there. We have a DRS train formed from 5th all the way down to 12th. That is how close the racing is here. Craggy all over the back of Shanban here. As we come down to Fanya, is he going to pull to the left-hand side? Yes, he does. Is he going to try the overtake? They almost have contact there as they go through, but they are still wheel to wheel. Heading down towards Sdrl they go. He has the inside line, does Craggy. Is he going to be able to edge his way ahead? Yes, he does. Almost loses the rear, though. They're still going wheel to wheel now onto the back straight. Craggy takes the position. That's going to give Bo a nice run as well. On Shanban, down the straight in the slipstream. Here comes Echo as well. They're going 2x2 again as we head towards Blunchman. Last time this happened, it did not end well, and there's another crash. Bowie is spun round. Second time we've seen them go 2x2. Second time we've seen a car spinning off at that corner. Craggy stays in P8. Barbman's gaining a couple positions there, up to P10 now. Shanban dropping down, so is Echo. Josh into the pit lane, so is Shanban. Berkey getting up to P9, opportunist move there on Barbans into turn 1. Barbans just going a little bit deep there. The guys out in front are starting to spread out a little bit. Could we see a move though from Dark Viper down the Camel straight in the slipstream of ICU? He is going to be gaining quite rapidly on the Red Bull driver. As we come now down towards Lecom, I don't think he's going to get close enough for a move, though. He does just slot in behind. Here they go 3 wide, though, down the Camel straight. Berkey and Barbans into Lecom. Who's going to come out ahead? Barbans has that inside line, but that switches to the outside. Back to the inside again for Barbans, and he does get that move done. Berkey still trying it, though, on the outside line into turn 8 Bruxelles. That's going to give Craggy a look now up the inside. Is he going to make that one stick now? The outside for No Name. Berkey has to back out of that one. He was going to get spun around otherwise. Unfortunately for him, he has to just back out. Unksty all over the back of Dark Viper now. Into Fanya we go. Is he going to make this one stick? Trying it around the outside. That switches to the inside for the second half of the corner. Not able to make the move stick there. Shanban is on intermediate compound tyres. Interesting strategy call. Are we going to see some rain very soon? There's raindrops on the track. The rain is falling here in Spa. Is it going to come down fast enough for that strategy to work for Shanban? He's gone for the undercut. Unksty gets past Dark Viper at Stavolo. But is this going to work out for him now as we go through this race? Lap 11 out of 22, we're halfway through the race. The rain is starting to fall here. Craggy and Barban still very close together. Are we going to see a move into the bus stop chicane here? I think he is just going to wait here. Get that DRS down the Camel straight. Is anybody going to dare to come in for some intermediate tyres? Now Shanban already on the inters. Could we see anybody else? Josh gets past Shanban. Those intermediates not working so far for Shan in the AlphaTauri. The track is still dry, and the inters are about 5 seconds a lap slower on a dry track. They aren't working yet for the AlphaTauri driver. He's going to be picking up a lot of tyre wear as well. This might not have been the right call. Here comes Craggy now on Barbans down the Camel straight. ICU up to 3rd place now, getting past Sert with that DRS down the Camel straight. Here comes Craggy to the inside line, getting past Barbans. Barbans does not have the DRS. Craggy up to 8th now on his debut. On those medium compound tyres, he is putting up a fight against Barbans, who did take that race win out in Japan. But ICU now back up to 3rd. Could he pull an interesting strategy call here to try and close that gap to Takubi and Remote? He is a couple seconds off. Still has Sert within his DRS as it stands. He will want to break that to try and to avoid the fight. The rain is still falling, but it's not quite getting damp enough. Let's go to Berkey. As you can see, the track still looks very dry. It looks quite similar to what we had in qualifying, actually, with those overcast conditions. It's probably going to be a little bit greasy. The drivers are going to have to be careful here, but I don't think it's wet enough yet for those intermediates to work, and Shanban is dropping off of Josh. Not as much as we would have expected on a completely dry track, but he is losing time nonetheless. Sertdogan managing to keep up with ICU. Is anybody this time around going to go for a set of intermediate tyres? None of the leaders pitting yet. Is anybody going to dare on this lap? I still think it's a bit too early for anybody to try it. Nobody bold enough to make that decision. As we head now down towards the last source with this pack of 4 cars, Cranky, Barbans, Berkey and Echo still going at it for the minor points paying positions. We could potentially see Dark Viper getting overtaken by Raven as well, gaining on him down the Camel straight, half a second separating them. But Berkey, Barbans, Craggy, Echo all going to be fighting it as well down this Camel straight. Raven is closing in on Dark Viper. In fact, he's going to go to the inside of Dark Viper, getting the position done, getting that move done up into P6 on this slippery track. Craggy not getting overtaken there. The rest of them were just too far back. DRS is still enabled. AD is into the pit lane. He's being bold. He's onto the set of intermediates. That's what we like to see. We like to see people taking that gamble, mixing the strategy up. It makes it a lot more interesting. Dark Viper still all over the back of Raven, and the track is starting to look slightly more damp. Still not quite ready for intermediates, I don't think, but given the track length, one more lap could be full intermediate conditions, and you can already start to see a little bit of a shine on the surface. You can see Dark Viper struggling for grip on those medium compound tyres. They are coming to the end of their stint, but it's really going to come down to how hard this rain falls, whether it's going to be bad enough. 3-second time penalty for Shuriken. He is struggling on those intermediates. Now dropped 5 seconds from Josh. But this is just going to come down to whether the track gets wet enough. As for whether they are going to come in for some pit stops, is anybody going to make the gamble in this top pack? I don't think, as we saw last time around. Dark Viper into the pit lane. He's taking the gamble. Dark Viper coming into the pit lane for some intermediate compound tyres. So is Berkey. They feel the rain is falling. Let's see, can these guys make it work? It's going to be very interesting. They are fitting some intermediate tyres. Are those two? Is the rain going to fall? We can see the water starting to form on the track, actually. You can see the drops starting to land on the track surface. It is getting wetter. This could be a very good strategy from these guys. As Barbance overtakes Craggy there, DRS still hasn't been disabled, so the FIA is still happy to keep it going, but the track is looking much more damp now into Bruxelles. Look how damp it's looking on the entry there. You can start to see the water settling here. And I think next time around it's going to be into conditions. I think it's starting to get wet enough where we might see a lot more drivers. Look at the track now. You can see it. The water is starting to form on the track surface. It is definitely getting damp out here. ICU on the back of remote as well. Could we see the Red Bull sizing up a move on the Ferrari driver? As we head towards the bus stop chicane, we might be seeing them into the pit lane even at the end of this lap. You can see there's so much water on the track already. Only been half a lap since we last looked, and it is just settling so much more. I'm looking at that gap between Dark Viper and Dantax. Dark Viper is closing in on the other Haas driver. I think it's time for intermediates. Let's see what these guys think. These guys still staying out. They want to go one more lap, potentially try and take one set of intermediates and save some tyre wear. In comes Unkshi. He's into the pit lane for a set of intermediates. Dark Viper is gaining fast on Dantax. Could it have been the right call to pit one lap earlier? With the length of the lap, Echo's into the pits as well. He is going to try it out on the intermediate compound tyres. Some of these drivers still yet to pit. We have yellow flags. Somebody has made a mistake. Who is it? I think it was Dantax. His teammate has gone past. Dantax making a mistake out of the final corner. Look how wet the track is now. It is time for intermediates. The top 7 yet to pit. Unkshi, the first car on the intermediates. Could he pull a blinder of an undercut here? The pit loss is about 18-19 seconds here, I believe. What is his gap to the leader? 23. He only has to gain 5 seconds on this lap. Unkshi could pull off an amazing undercut on this lap. Let's see what he can do. DRS is still enabled. ICU is past remote on this lap. He did manage to get that overtake done down the Kemmel Straight, but look how wet the track is. Could we see an undercut from Unkshi? Could Dark Viper get involved in it as well? He's only a second behind Unkshi. He will have slightly more worn tyres though, as he did pit a lap earlier when it was much drier. Lots of drivers off of the pack here right now, though. A safety car would be needed to bring them back in. But if we do get a safety car now, it could bring some very interesting people into play. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see where Unkshi would come into things. Unkshi gained a second already in the first half of the middle sector on Craggy. He is gaining rapidly on those intermediate compound tyres. Let's see now. Takubi coming towards the bus stop. Is he going to be coming into the pits this time around? No, he doesn't. He stays out again. This is a very bold strategy from Takubi. Is he going to try and take the intermediates to the end? Remote into the pit lane. He is hauling it off. He doesn't want to. Sert into the pit lane as well. Is Rayburn going to have to stay out? Rayburn is in anyway. He doesn't want to take that double stack. The penalty from staying out on a wet track. Everybody is into the pit lane except for ICU and Takubi. Have they made a mistake with the strategy? Are they going to get undercut here by the likes of Angstji and Dark Viper? Let's see Angstji coming down the main straight. He is going to make a massive undercut. He's coming out ahead of Remote, I believe. In fact, he's going to be wheel to wheel with the Ferrari driver, but he gets a much better exit. So does Dark Viper. He gets ahead of Remote as well. DRS is now disabled. Angstji is pulling the undercut, and look at the gap now to ICU and Takubi, 16 and 18 seconds respectively. Angstji could take the race lead here with a blinder of an undercut. As it looks like Angstji is going to take the race lead. Remote pitted for mediums. Did Remote forget to change his tyres? He's come out on mediums. What is this? What in the Ferrari strategy is this? Remote is throwing it all away. He's going to be dropping way down the order. He's going to have to pit again, surely. He's going to be losing so much time on those medium compound tyres. It's all getting lost, thrown away for the Ferrari team. It's all falling apart. They're going to need a safety car to bring this one back into it. Takubi and ICU getting closed in on by Angstji by seconds a lap. The gap is now down to 14. It was 17 at the start of this lap. They are closing in rapidly, and I think they're going to drop several positions. They could come up behind Sert and Berkey pairing. With the time loss, it's going to be interesting to see where they come out. But Takubi staying out again, starting lap 17 out of 22 now. Both of them gambling, staying out again, another lap for the top two to stay out. Is it going to get wet enough for Angstji to catch up, or are Takubi and ICU going to be able to hold it out there on the slicks? In the wet conditions, at the rate they're catching, let's look at their last lap times. Last time around, 157s for the top two, 151 for Angstji. He's gaining at 6 seconds a lap. They're gonna catch. He's gonna catch in 2 laps. Takubi and ICU might have tried something bold here, but I don't think it's gonna work out for them. Remote is trying to stay out as well. He is actually keeping up with Sert, I believe, although I think he has just actually been overtaken by Sert. But I think ICU and Takubi are gonna get overtaken here, dropping down the order quite a few positions. They are losing far too much time to make this strat viable. If they pit now, it's going to be too late anyway. They might just have to try and commit to this and hope it works out. Echo gets a 3-second time penalty. He's currently sat in 11th. If he had a chance of points, that may well cost him, unfortunately, here in this race. But this is the one I want to watch. Angstji, currently only 6 seconds now off of ICU and Takubi. Berkey overtaking Remote. Remote is dropping through the field as well. He is losing so much time here. It's not looking great for him. But the ones it's not looking great for out in front, Takubi and ICU. ICU has almost caught up to Takubi now. He's within 1 second. DRS is disabled though because it is wet. You can see them now going through the bus stop. It is done, I think, for them. They're going to get overtaken. And they are both into the pit lane. They've had to call it quits. Angstji takes the race lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. He's 5 seconds clear of Dark Viper behind them. Surely we're going to see Remote into the pit lanes. Well, we have yellow flags, though. What's the yellow flags for? ICU's onto softs. Did ICU forget to change his tyres? Well, Raven gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. ICU is onto softs. What is it with these strategies from the top guys? Remote onto mediums, ICU onto softs. They're both throwing it all away. ICU comes out in P7, but he's within this massive fight. He's going to be dropping through the order again. Here comes Craggy, Raven, and Echo down. Down we go towards Eau Rouge. These guys are caught up in a battle. Craggy gets a 3-second time penalty. All 3 of the drivers, 8, 9, and 10, all have time penalties. They have ICU on the soft compound tyres in front. This is going to be an easy overtake on him once they catch up into La Source. Not into La Source. Into Les Combes they go. They're not able to make the overtake here. They're losing so much time. There's front wing damage for Craggy. That explains why they're so slow. Craggy's missing an end plate. Here comes Raven to the inside at turn 8. Bruxelles. Echo gonna go for it as well. On the Mercedes driver. Echo up now to P9. Barbans is all over the back of them as well. I think he was the cause of the yellow flag. He's been dropping down the order. Barbans now on the back of his teammates. Could we see team orders here? Barbans doesn't have a time penalty. Could he be set after ICU and remote here? Potentially to secure a P6 or P5 finish if he has the pace. Raven passed. We have yellow flags. Champagne is out. And we have a safety car on lap 18. This changes everything. Everybody is going to be able to catch up. This brings remote ICU back into this race. Takubi is going to be allowed to catch up. This is the worst case scenario for Ungsti. He's 10 seconds out in front. Everybody's going to be in for new intermediate tyres, surely. Drive through for Craggy. That is almost certainly race over. This safety car is going to be coming in at the end of lap 20. He's only going to have 2 laps. There won't be a safety car after this one. That is unfortunate for Craggy. On debut, he was looking set to take some points here. Then he got that front wing damage. And now a drive through. It's almost certainly race over for him. I expect we're going to see everybody in. Ungsti has stayed out on those used intermediate tyres. He didn't want to risk giving up track position. Takubi stays out as well. He only just pitted. I expect we're going to see the same with actually nobody else because ICU pitted for softs. ICU has stayed out on the soft compound tyres. That is a very risky gamble. Sert is gambling on softs as well. They're risking on the track drying up. Look at the track though, it's still raining. Another drive through for Craggy. I expect he's going to retire. It is still raining, guys. What are you doing? It's still raining, even 5 minutes though. Rain stops in 5 minutes, and then the track's still dry, and 5 minutes will be after the end of the safety car. This is not going to work. Softs are not the strat here. Josh onto the softs as well. These guys are making a mistake, surely. Surely, it's still raining now. 5 minutes for rain stopping would be the end of the race. Dantax gets a drive through for speeding, and Craggy gets disqualified. Craggy is disqualified. He is currently running in P9, but he will be out of the race. That pushes everybody up in position. And also, you're taking Dantax out of the equation, currently running P11. Dantax gets another drive through. What is going on? Are people missing their deltas? That's a second car. ICU and Echo having some shenanigans here. Echo's been spun around under the safety car. I'm not sure what happened there, but Echo losing a couple of positions. Now Dantax getting another drive through. What is going on? They're getting so many drive-throughs. I'm not sure what's causing this. They have a delta to... Dantax has been disqualified as well. I'm very confused. Okay, well, depending on how these soft tyres go, we have 3 drivers on the softs. If they all drop off, everybody's going to be up a couple positions here. That will put AD up to 11th. Could AD and Downsy both yet to score points? I think one of them could be on to score points in this race. It's not drying. We on at the end of lap 19. It's still wet. I think the question actually is going to be, can AD catch up to the safety car? He's quite a way back. Safety car will be in at the end of lap 20. We have a very mixed up grid here. Ungsti currently leading. He's on old inters though. So is Takubi and Raven. ICU on old softs. Barbans on old intermediates. The top 5 all on used tyres. ICU on soft tyres. And then we have new tyres for Dark Viper. New softs for Sert. Old inters for Echo. He had that spin as well, which dropped him down the order. And new tyres for pretty much the rest of the grid here. Below that, except for Downsy, who's currently on used intermediate tyres. The gap to leader currently... Penalties, actually, let's have a quick look. Josh has 9 seconds, Echo has 3, Raven has 3. That could prove costly for them as well. The gap to leader, 55 seconds. That gap is going to be rapidly falling, but there's a chance that AD may not catch up to the safety car, which will be very unfortunate. Downsy is on for a very good chance at points though, with 3 drivers on the softs, 3 drivers with time penalties. What is going to happen here? Could we see some first points for Downsy? Could we see first points for AD? Can they keep up? Are those softs going to get dry enough? It has stopped raining. I don't think it's dry enough. Looking at the track right now, it still seems far too wet for the softs, but it has stopped raining. That's the one thing that will play into their hands, is it is no longer raining. There's a very small chance, but I don't think those softs are going to get fast enough. It could be a really good strategy. We could see Sert taking his first podium of the season if it dries up enough, but I think that the Inters are still going to be fast enough. I don't think those softs are going to get fast. It's going to be much closer than it originally was. AD still yet to catch. Safety car will be in this lap. I think AD will just about catch. He is coming into Fanya now, the back of the train coming into Sdrl. He should make it, as the pack has to slow down as well, all the way down. He will start to get throttle limited, but he is still coming through. It's still definitely wet. The track is still very wet. And AD just coming to catch the pack now, so he's going to be fine. Safety car, they're still quite close to the safety car actually. They're taking this very quickly on the restart. They do have to back off, otherwise they are going to get throttle limited by the safety car, and that's when things start to get dangerous. They need to let the safety car back into the pit lane. When is Angsti going to make that jump? How are these soft tyres going to perform on this race restart? This is what we need to see now. Out of the final corner, when's he going to make the jump? He has gone now. Takubi has got a really good restart here. Could we see a move into turn 1 already from the Mercedes driver? No, he isn't. He is slotting in behind, just waiting it out. How are those soft tyres performing? Remote up to P9 already. He is making some moves on the restart. AD pretty much caught up. I'm not sure if he backed out or not. Down towards Eau Rouge we go now. ICU had a look on Raben. Those soft tyres look like they're doing alright. He doesn't seem to be losing time. Barban's behind on those odd enemies. ICU's wide though. He's losing out of Eau Rouge. He's gone off track. He has managed to keep going. Those soft tyres may be starting to struggle a little bit. Sert is dropping back as well from Dark Viper, who is gaining on Barban's. They are gaining out in front. Here comes Takubi round the outside of Angsti into turn 5. He has made that move stick. Takubi now leads the race. Raben in P3, but he's carrying a 3-second time penalty. He goes wide. ICU up to P3 on the soft compound tyres. Is this a strategy? The track is dry. The track is completely dry. Here comes Sertdogan. Could we see Sert making his way onto the podium round the outside at No Name on Dark Viper? What a move from Sert. He's going to keep fighting this one all the way down to P1, but he's going to have so much more grip on those soft combat tyres. Round the outside of Dark Viper he goes. Up to P6 now on the exit. Towards Fanya we go. Could Sert go for it? Up to P5 now. Round the outside of Barbans he goes. What a move from Sert. He has so much more grip than these guys. I see you all over the back of Angsti as well up in front. Could we see Sert making it through? Are we going to see team orders from the McLaren team? Will Raben get out of the way? He has that 3-second time penalty. ICU going past Angsti now. Had a look. Not quite able to make that work. Now, as we go down towards Blanchimont, the team orders at McLaren do come out. Sert is past Raben. We have yellow flags. AD is round, unfortunately. He won't be capitalising here on this safety car restart. Sertdogan up to P4 now. Here comes Angsti and ICU into the bus stop chicane. ICU getting past up to P2. A spin from Angsti. He goes wide. Sert is up to P3. He's on the podium as it stands. This McLaren transfer working amazingly. Raben is spun as well. He's off in the background. Remote down to P10. It's not looking great for him. AD gets disqualified. I'm not sure what happened to him. Did he get beached? I'm not sure. But those soft tyres looking to work amazingly. AD is out. Raben and Dowsey, we have a car around. Remote is spun round at turn 1. He's out of the points. Remote retired. Echo gets a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. That might get removed. I'm not sure what happened. But as it stands, it looks like the soft tyres are working amazingly. Josh losing it a little bit out of Eau Rouge though and Radion. Here we go down the Camel Straight. Everybody on the intermediates except for the top 2. Into Les Combes we go. Contact between Downsy and Echo there, but they do both survive through the chicane. Downsy currently running in P9. He's on to take his first points of the season. Final lap of this race though. Takubi under so much pressure from ICU now. Out in P1. They're going down towards P1. ICU all over the back of him. Are we going to see a move towards Fanya now? On the exit of P1 we go. ICU is gaining rapidly. They're going to be deploying all their battery down towards Fanya. And then, but they've got to save it. for that final straight. Sert is all over the back of them. They're getting held up so much. Sert trying it on ICU for a second there. Had a look. Not quite close enough. This is going to be a photo finish to the line between the top three. Who is going to take this one as we head now through Stavelot towards Blanchimont we go. ICU pulling to the inside we go. Down the straight. ICU trying to take the race lead here on the final lap of the race. Sert following close behind. Can he pick up the P2 as we head towards the bus stop chicane? They're going wheel to wheel into the bus stop chicane. ICU has the outside line. He gets later on the brakes though than Takubi. Into the bus stop they go. Contact between the top two. Insert gonna get the run to the line. He goes deep. ICU will take the race win. Sertdogan takes second place. His first podium of the season. Takubi takes third. Ungstje Kostan, he got a 3-second time penalty. He drops down to 5th, Barbans up to 4th, Berkey takes P5, Ungstje takes P6, Dark Viper takes P7, Echo comes across the line, takes P8, Downsy up to P8 with that penalty. What a race there at the end. Sert had a look for the race win. It was so close for him. He just couldn't quite get the power down out to the final corner. Driver of the day for ISU from P10 on the grid. He takes the race win. What a race from him. First points of the season for Downsy though. What a race from him, managing to come home in P8 after those penalties. Podium though for Sertdogan, first of the season. He made the strategy call. It was a bold one, it was a brave one, and it paid off in the end. 9th and 10th goes to 1 and 2 on the grid. What a drive from them. Barbans, unfortunately, from pole all the way down to 4th. Dark Viper, though, 17th to 7th. Downsy, 16th to 8th, taking his first points. Raven, unfortunately, dropping down to P9 there. Echo comes home after those penalties to take points as well. What a race. I think it's interview time, and I think we're going to be seeing, probably for the first time this season, a very, very happy Sertdogan. There are the race results. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a race. From all of the drivers. They took a gamble onto those soft tyres, and it was the right call. Let's head over to the interview room now. We have Raven. Oh, we have Sert. I think we've got to go for Sert. I mean, what a performance from him. Sert. What do I say?
Hello.
P2, first podium of the season. What a drive. You took the gamble onto those soft tyres. What was going through your head there?
Okay, first of all, GG's to everyone. My race was clean. I had no problem with anyone, so W from that perspective. And yeah, the beginning of the race, it was showing that really short period of time there will be a rain. So even I was thinking like, okay, maybe it will rain, but it won't be enough for inters. And then I saw that it was clearly for inters. I was keeping in my mind that still, okay, it's gonna be dry soon. It's gonna be dry soon. And yeah, I saw that the kinda rain get lighter, and I said, okay, you know what? I can see that I can do that. And I thought, to be honest with you, I thought most of the people will do that, but me and ICU was the only two people that done this in top 10, I believe.
Yeah, Josh was also on the soft tyres, but he had 9 seconds of penalties, and he was quite far down as well, so he wasn't able to capitalise on it.
So it was lovely, and yeah, I was aware that just right after the safety car, the track won't be ready, but the lap after, it was good to go, and I wasn't sure that I will be able to catch Tekubi, but Tekubi was defending against ICU, which helped me quite a lot. And we were, I don't know, you were watching, but we were 3 cars in the bus stop chicane.
Yeah.
And and I don't know. I wasn't focusing on that, but Koi said that ICU can get a penalty because of the takeaway contact. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying what is written in the chat. And yeah, I'm happy. And GG's to everyone.
Yeah, well, 4 tenths across the line was the gap. Uh, First podium of the season. I don't think you can
Yeah.
complain, really.
I absolutely not. P2, I'll take it. I knew that this race gonna be tough. I mean, look at the quality results. Like everyone was extreme close. I was thinking that I'm doing all right, but I start P10. And yeah, I GG's to everyone. It was lovely, and I'm happy. And it was first race in the McLaren, so W McLaren. Shout out to my teammate. And GG's. Thank you.
No problem, Sert. Pleasure as always. And yeah, congratulations
Take
on the
care of
podium.
yourself.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Bye bye.
All right. Hello, AD.
Good evening, Chocolate. How are you?
I'm not too bad. How was that race for you? It was looking like it was going to be quite a decent result for you up until after that safety car restart. It just seemed to fall apart a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my chat were mixed between whether I should have gone for the softs or the inters. It sounded like in the commentary you were none too sure either. It seems like softs were the way to go, but I managed to have a spin on the inters anyway. So I think if I'd gone for the softs, I probably would have had that same spin. The annoying part about that spin was I ended up beached on the curb and couldn't get off. And then when the game disqualified me, the car drove off. So how that works, I'm not entirely sure. But
Yeah.
there you go.
Unfortunate. But I don't think you were running in the points anyway. So unfortunately, another race, no points coming home. How do you
Indeed.
feel looking forward though to we've got Abu Dhabi next time out? How do you fare there?
I wasn't overly confident with Spa, as I've said numerous occasions. I made some improvements in the lead up to the race. Abu Dhabi is a slightly better track for me, not one of my best again. So I'm going to be relying on a bit of attrition. I think, as you said at the start of the question, the only consolation in my spin was that I would have been 12th anyway. So it's not like I missed out on points because of spinning on the last lap. But yeah, on to Abu Dhabi. Shame for remote as well. I don't know whether that was a game glitch that put him onto the softs or whether he failed to change. I don't know if you've got any insight on that, perhaps when you speak to them.
I'm not sure, to be honest, but we will see.
Yeah, I did watch an esports race where the leader in a Ferrari actually came into the pit, selected inters, and the game put him on softs when the track was wet. So it does seem to be something that's happening at the moment, which is a bit of a shame.
All right. And yeah, overall it was a decent result. Where were you? You were 18th in qualifying. So I mean, it could have been worse, you know. And overall, you were looking decent in the race. I think in the early stages you were actually running in P10. So positive still to take away from this race.
Yeah, I was quite pleased with my P10. I think was that when I got spun out?
I'm not sure. I can't remember, to be honest. It was so long
it was
ago.
quite early on. I got spun out. I need to check my replay. I have to think at the time I thought it was me being exuberant on the throttle, but you did call contact in the commentary. So I don't know if you saw something that I didn't feel.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember, to be honest.
Okay. Well, I'll go over my footage and submit it, and we will see what happened. Lap 6, my chatter telling me, was when I spun.
All right. Well, yeah. Overall, good luck next time out. Hopefully, gonna be a slightly better result. And
let's hope so.
Hopefully, we're gonna see some points. All right.
Thanks again. Good work on the commentary as ever.
You.
We'll see you again soon.
Yeah. See you later.
Cheers.
Bye. Let's go to Dark Viper. Hello, Dark Viper. It was an all right race for you there.
I'm getting that pen removed. Okay.
All right. So that was a 3-second time penalty, I assume.
Yeah, I'll be P4. We absolutely fumbled on strategy there, to be honest. But I want to thank Jona Martins for the inspirational support for the last lap. What is it? Come Bucket Daily, GB, Razin, Matty, All of the Creator Series guys in chat for the support. Mega from them.
Yeah, well, if you do get that penalty removed, P4, lots of points coming home to Haas
Yeah,
after
unbelievable, honestly.
after a shocker of a qualifying from you.
It's a
What
good thing we have
happened
an
there?
archway behind me because my door would. What happened in quali?
Yeah.
I just did 2 hours of WRC and I didn't adapt very well. My adaptability wasn't there. This is my worst track as well, so I'm happy to take points, to be honest.
Yeah, Spa seeming to be a struggle track for quite a few of the drivers, but yeah, in the end, as it stands right now, P7, but potentially gonna come home in P4 if you're able to get that penalty removed. So, yeah, decent result
Just
for you.
say one thing.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Mogged.
Okay. Okay.
Mogged.
Right. Let's go to Echo now. Hello, Echo.
Hello.
P10 for you. More points coming home. For you, how was that race?
Honestly, it was going good. Until the end. I did get sandwiched at one point going into the chicane. It didn't help, but it also didn't help with the 5 seconds straight after that from passing Raven while he was going dead slow.
Yeah. Potentially you'll get that run removed as well. I think that might bump you up a position. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, still points coming home. You managed to survive through the race. What were your thoughts with the strategy there at the end?
I think I was thinking going onto the softs. I just decided against it. I was like, some of the guys stayed on inters ahead of me, so just thought may as well.
But yeah, overall decent result for you, getting some points. How are you looking for Yasmarina next time out?
Ooh, I think I can cook her on there. I'm alright at Yasmarina.
All right, well, good luck for the next race. We will see how it goes for you. Maybe some more points coming home for you. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
All right, good one. Have a good one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right, let's get Josh. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
Unfortunate race for you there, just missing out on the points. Tell us a bit about what happened.
You say I missed out on the points. I did, but I believe I've got an incident clip which might put me in the points. I'll submit that later. I thought I had a really good start, especially when the safety car came out. Since I was on mediums, I was just following what Dark Viper was doing because I know he's pretty decent. So I stayed out with him. But then when the safety car ended, I just started battling it, making loads of mistakes, and I dropped well far back.
Yeah, I think at one point you were running, I think P6, which was very good for you. But
I have been P4 before, but I had a drive-through, so I don't know if that counts.
yeah, well, yeah. In the end, what was the tire strategy thoughts with you for that final stint? You went for the gamble with the softs. But did you think it was going to dry up, or did you think it was quite risky?
I might as well try it because I was really far back anyway. If I didn't try it, I probably would have ended up further back. So I believed it was the right strategy at the time, and it did pay off. If I didn't have 9 seconds worth of time penalties, which I got shafted by the game a little bit on most of them.
And then,
yeah,
looking forward to Yasmarina. Is that a track you go well at? How do you think you're going to do there?
terrible at it. I don't know how to drive it at all.
So maybe not a great weekend next time out, but hopefully maybe we'll get some chaos and it'll bring you into it. Let's see how it goes for you.
Hopefully.
All right. Let's go now to Raven. Hello, Raven.
What's going on?
Not much. How was that race for you? It P9. It's probably not what you were expecting after the win last time out. But just tell us about what happened for you.
Yeah, so pretty much yeah, nah, yeah, nah. No, the first stint, I should say. it was a bit of a doozy, not gonna lie. I knew I didn't have the pace here, especially in qualifying. My one good lap was Q3, and I somehow managed to get there with barely getting to Q2. But yeah, the first few stints in the race just it wasn't good. The pace was off. I was just dropping through the field, and especially when that virtual safety car and the safety car came out, just did not help really. Nope. Oh, fuck, hold on. But yeah, it wasn't the worst race, really. But the ending, wasn't just what we wanted. I think maybe a P5 was on the cards. Sorry, my dog is just yapping in my ear.
Yeah, it's all right. I think you had a spin late on as well. Tell us about that. What happened there?
Yeah. So, my God, dude, it's so distracting. Um, so, yeah, coming into the final corner, on that safety car, it might have been the lap after the restart when it just dried up. I think I lost the rear end, going into the final corner, which led my old teammate, Barbance, get a little bit of a wing in there right when he turned in, and I just didn't expect it, so I got spun around. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it for that.
All right. Well, looking forward to Abu Dhabi next time out. How do you fare there? Do you think it's going to be a better race for you?
It's probably going to be a shocker again, 2 tracks back to back that I never, drive on, and I'm pretty bad at, but hey, we'll try to practice this time, maybe a bit more, and we can manage.
All right. Well, best of luck for you next time out. Hopefully, it'll be a better result for you.
Thanks, mate. Also, shout out to my boy Sert, just came into the team, and he's peaked. So big shout out to him. Great result for the team.
All right. Thank you very much, Raven. And let's go to Unksg. Hello.
Hello
I
there.
think it was P6 for you in the end there.
P6, yeah.
How was
Yeah,
that race?
sadly. Overall, I felt the race was good. Qualifying overall was pretty good. I managed to get myself into the top 5, which was pretty unexpected. I'd barely do this track. Moving on to the race, horrid first lap. And ended up crashing into that Alpine, I think it was, who had a spin. But then managed to get myself back up into P1. And then by pure chance, I was singing Murder on the Dance Floor while we had the late safety car at the end of the race, and I completely missed the pits and gave up there completely. So, brilliant strategy from me, singing.
And as for that lap 1 incident, just was there any contact there, or did the Alpine just spin on his own?
Honestly, I didn't see any contact, and I don't think there was any contact overall. But I think, yeah, he just spun on his own, I think. We'll have to wait and see for that one.
All right. And how do you think you fare at Abu Dhabi? Do you think you would do well there?
If I can get in as a reserve, yeah, I'll probably do my fair share of work. I'm hoping to get a better result. Maybe not get a penalty on the last lap, last corner. But yeah, it is one of my stronger tracks overall, close to Saudi. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well, good luck next time out if you are racing. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. And last but not least, even though he isn't racing, let's hear what Dragon has to say. He's been sat very patiently in the waiting room. Hello, Dragonflies. What do you have to say here?
I got absolutely robbed, mate. Absolutely robbed. Guys, Ben Sert, okay? Ben Sert, drama. Bye-bye.
Huh? Oh, I thought you said Ben Sert. I was a bit confused. Oh,
This guy is just trying to manipulate all of you guys. Do not believe
Rob.
this fucker.
Rob.
The thing is, it has been 1 week that I post that sign up sheet, and he's waiting the last day, last minute, last hour. And
Rob,
then when I announced the reserves, he is just come in and texted me that okay, Sert, I missed it, blah blah blah. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Please go on.
absolutely robbed, mate. Absolutely
All right,
robbed.
well, Dragon, hopefully you'll remember to do your sign up next time, and you'll be able to get into the next race in Abu Dhabi. How do you think you're gonna do next time out?
I don't know, but I hope Sert does bad. Rivalry, you know. I
Well,
hate him.
Well, strong words coming from Dragon. There you go, chat. Well, let's get rid of him. We don't need to sit here anymore from him. But yeah, ICU with an amazing comeback drive there after that lap 1 incident, managing to come back through to take the race win. Sert only a couple Sert only a couple tenths behind at the end. He was so close to taking that race win on the exit of the final corner. Just got pipped to the line though by ICU. And then Takubi managed to stick out on those intermediate tyres to take that P3 in the end. Dowsy taking his first points as well, coming from the back of the grid. Dark Viper taking some points as well from the back of the grid. So overall, a very good race. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next week in Abu Dhabi. Thank you and goodbye.